there, it's Jessica, and welcome back to the English Pro podcast. Today, I want to share the practical strategies that actually work for building real confidence in English. We're not talking about fake it till you make it confidence. We're talking about genuine, sustainable confidence that comes from changing how you think about mistakes, how you prepare for conversations, and how you measure your success. By the end of this episode, you'll have concrete tools to feel more confident every time you speak English. Why confidence issues are so common? Let me tell you why confidence problems are almost universal among English learners. When you're speaking your native language, you don't think about grammar rules or vocabulary. You just express your thoughts naturally. But when you're speaking English, part of your brain is constantly monitoring and judging your performance, which creates this mental interference that makes everything feel harder. Here's the thing. Your brain is actually doing you a disservice by trying to protect you from embarrassment. It's saying, what if you make a mistake? What if people judge you? What if you sound stupid? But here's what I've learned. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. And most people are way too busy thinking about their own concerns to judge your English as harshly as you think they are. The other issue is that many English learners have perfectionist tendencies. We want to sound exactly like native speakers, and when we don't, we feel like we're failing. But think about it. You probably don't expect people learning your native language to sound exactly like you do. You're patient with their mistakes and impressed by their effort. Other people extend the same courtesy to you. Practical confidence-building strategies. Let me share the strategies that actually work for building lasting confidence in English. These aren't just motivational ideas. These are practical techniques you can use starting today. First, let's talk about reframing mistakes. Instead of thinking, I made a mistake, I'm terrible at English, try thinking, I made a mistake and I learned something new. Every mistake is data about what you need to practice more. When I started keeping a small notebook of mistakes I made and what I learned from them, my whole relationship with errors changed. They became learning opportunities instead of failures. Here's something that really helps. Prepare conversation starters and common responses. Not scripted conversations, but flexible phrases you can use in different situations. For example, have a few ways to ask for clarification ready, like, could you repeat that? Or, I'm not sure I understand. Could you explain it differently? When you know you have tools to handle confusion, you feel more confident entering conversations. You know what's incredibly powerful? Start small and build up. Don't jump into complex debates or formal presentations. Start with low-stakes conversations. Ordering food, asking for directions, chatting with cashiers. These interactions are short, predictable, and great for building confidence because the stakes are so low. Let me tell you about the power of self-talk. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, focus on what you want to achieve. Instead of, I hope I don't make mistakes, try, I want to share my ideas clearly. Instead of, my English isn't good enough, try, I'm going to communicate as best I can. The way you talk to yourself before and during conversations hugely impacts your confidence. Here's a strategy that changed everything for me. Celebrate small wins. Did you ask a question in a meeting? That's a win. Did you have a brief conversation with a neighbor? That's a win. Did you express your opinion, even if it wasn't perfect? That's a win. Most people only notice their mistakes, but confident speakers notice their successes too. Another crucial technique is to focus on the message, not the medium. When you're having a conversation, put your attention on what you want to communicate, not on how you're saying it. People connect with your ideas, your personality, and your intentions, not with your perfect grammar. The more you focus on connecting with people, the less you'll worry about making mistakes. Let me share one more powerful strategy. Find your English-speaking comfort zone and gradually expand it. Maybe you're comfortable talking about your hobbies, but nervous discussing work. Start with topics you know well. Then slowly branch out. Confidence builds when you have positive experiences to draw from. My personal confidence journey. Let me tell you about my own journey with English confidence. For years, I avoided phone calls because I thought I needed visual cues to communicate effectively. I'd email instead of calling. And I'd skip networking events because I was afraid of making small talk with strangers. The turning point came when I had to make an important phone call for work. I couldn't avoid it, so I prepared by writing down key phrases and questions. The conversation went fine, not perfect, but fine. The person understood me, we accomplished what we needed to, and I realized I'd been avoiding phone calls for no real reason. After that, I started deliberately putting myself in situations that challenged my comfort zone. I joined a local hiking group where I had to make small talk with new people every week. I started going to coffee shops and chatting with baristas. I volunteered for presentations at work. Each positive experience built my confidence for the next challenge. I also discovered that people are generally much more supportive than I expected. When I started being honest about my English learning journey, people would often share their own experiences, learning languages or living in different countries. What I thought made me vulnerable actually made me more relatable and helped me connect with others. The biggest shift in my confidence came when I stopped trying to sound like a native speaker and started focusing on being an effective communicator. I realized that my unique perspective, shaped by my multicultural background, was actually valuable. I wasn't trying to hide my identity, I was expressing it through English. Building daily confidence habits. Let me show you how to build confidence through daily habits and real-world practice. Confidence isn't something you develop once, it's something you build every day through small actions and positive experiences. Start your day with English confidence affirmations that actually make sense. Instead of "I'm perfect at English," try "I'm improving my English every day," or "I communicate effectively in English." Make them realistic and specific to your situation. Here's a daily practice that really works. Have one English conversation every day, even if it's just saying thank you to a bus driver or asking "How are you?" to a coworker. The key is consistency. Daily practice, even for just a few minutes, builds confidence much faster than occasional long study sessions. Practice self-compassion when things don't go perfectly. Talk to yourself the way you'd talk to a good friend who's learning English. Would you criticize them for making mistakes? Of course not. Extend the same kindness to yourself. Practical application. So, how do you apply these confidence-building strategies in real situations? Let me give you some specific scenarios and techniques. In job interviews, prepare by practicing common questions, but also prepare phrases for when you need time to think. Like, "That's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment." Remember, taking time to give a thoughtful answer shows intelligence, not weakness. In social situations, have a few go-to topics ready. Current events, weekend plans, or questions about the other person's experiences. People love talking about themselves, so asking genuine questions takes pressure off you while keeping the conversation flowing. At work, start by contributing small comments or asking clarifying questions in meetings. You don't have to give long presentations immediately. Build confidence through consistent small participations. Here's my practical tip for handling mistakes. Develop a recovery strategy. When you make a mistake or can't find a word, have phrases ready like "what I mean is," or "let me put it another way." This shows you're a confident communicator who can adapt and clarify. Also, remember that body language affects confidence. Stand tall, make eye contact, and smile when appropriate. Your physical presence supports your verbal communication and makes you feel more confident. All right, let's wrap this up. Today, we explored practical strategies for building real confidence in English. From reframing mistakes as learning opportunities to focusing on communication rather than perfection. The key takeaway is that confidence comes from practice, preparation, and changing your mindset about what successful communication looks like. If you found this episode helpful, you might want to check out episode 23 about expressing emotions naturally. Both episodes complement today's discussion about authentic, confident communication. If you learned at least one new thing in today's episode, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us reach more English learners who want to build genuine confidence in their communication skills. This is Jessica, and you've been listening to the English Pro Podcast. See you in the next episode.